Yes, I know. This there's no frame here, but I wanted to look smart. I do wear glasses. This is my prescription, but I wouldn't want it to be blurry in front of the camera. Speaking of which, one thing I realized about my prescription is that I thought I was sad. I mean, I'm still a bit sad sometimes, but I realized like once putting on the glasses, everything is brighter, everything is crisper and clearer. I just thought the world was just dull and blurry. You know what I mean? Like I kind of like live like that for a long time of my life. I didn't even know I needed certain accommodations till now. Interesting. Anyway, in today's video, I'm gonna talk to you guys about love. Not love as in like, oh, I'm in a relationship with this spicy hot señorita mamacita with a cook. No, none of that. What I want to talk to you about today is love as a phenomenon and the things that I have realized in my very, very few years of existence, I would say. I mean, I think I've lived a quarter of a century, so I might say I'm very well versed in Satan ideals of humanity. All right, so in my mind, I feel like love is everything, essentially, like in essence, I'm a, I'm a Christian boy. So I grew up understanding the phenomenon of God is love, and that's the God I've always known. That's why I've been at odds at times with many people in churches and stuff like that who, the condemnation gospel type of people, people that think, oh, by the way, English is not my first language. That's why I started this YouTube video, because I want to be more eloquent in my speech. So, you know what happens usually in Christian settings or churches in particular? There's always those hyper pious individuals, more benevolent than anyone else that know everything and they are more destined and deserving of God's love and grace and all that. And to be honest with you, they just fucking piss me off. Yeah, so and then I had to develop my own relationship with that, and I realized that God is love. So you may not be religious if you are blah blah blah, whatever it is that believe in. This is not the video for that. But what I realized though is that love is at the core of the universe. So whether it's love from a benevolent creator, or the lovingness that exists within the universe, or the love that makes everything else make sense. Because if you think about the whole phenomenon of existence from a very rudimentary and basic survival perspective, one thing you usually realize is that at times we do things that are very, and I mean very and utterly stupid for our own survival. For the very simple fact that we love someone or we love something or there's love between. It may not be like love in terms of like, oh, I feel cozy and I see red heart, my heart. No, not necessarily to that extent, but just an extra care about someone else beyond yourself. And that comes to the point of romantic relationships, which is not the point of this video at all. But I realized like those usually work better when you can kind of like put another person first. I don't mean like they are everything and like you don't have your own life or like your own agency and stuff like that, but more like as an individual, you come at it from his perspective. I can never say that word. You come at it from a perspective of, you know what? I'm fulfilled. I'm I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm living my life and all that stuff. And I feel like I need to provide value. And that's what love comes from. I mean like that's literally what it is. Like the mentality that you're trying to provide more value than you're gaining from a relationship. It might be very cultural because in my perspective, that's why like my notions of relationships and like friendships and all that, it's being dependable and being there for people. Like I just like that concept. Like I mean, I don't know. I get hyper obsessed. Maybe I had a talk with my therapist that maybe I just feel like I wanna help everyone else and make everyone else okay and that way it distracts me from my own issues and problems per se. But I do believe and genuinely believe that it is very beneficial to me to think that way, because I'm less in my own head selfishly thinking about my own BS. Because let's be honest, we live in a very fortunate time in history whereby in general everyone kind of like has everything they need, and right now we are on journeys of purpose and what it is that it means to be live. So that's why just be grateful and love one another. That's what I would say. Now, moving on from the romantic side of things, I'll probably make a part two, like love in the romantic context. But I feel like love as the glue that holds the world together. I feel like it was not. I feel like I think it was Bob Marley that said this. Like when it comes to things like hatefulness and racism, love can fight that. And I mean, you're probably thinking like, oh yeah, interracial couples. No, I'm not talking about like love between two people, but I feel like love amongst humanity and something that can bind us all together. And I feel like, in my humble opinion, the world right now is overrun with hate, and usually the hate doesn't come from a place of, I mean, hate always comes from a bad place, but I don't think it comes from a hateful place. I just feel it comes from a confused place. And I feel like a lot of time the most hateful people, hateful, the most hateful people amongst us are those individuals, usually at times, who have been neglected in general or generally feel they don't matter. And I feel like, unfortunately, due to the power of love that holds us together as a humanity, as a society, as beings, as the planet, the thing that makes everything make sense, the reason why you can find a reason to live for something or die for something or sacrifice for something. I feel like usually when we deprive people of that, or people feel they are deprived, obviously people have control over their own actions, and consequences to those actions may befall them as they should. But I feel like at times we find ourselves in a very weird place where we just neglect those people, and then they lash out with hate, because let's be honest, hatefulness sticks. That's why trolling is so catchy, because there's just something about the nastiness of it that just stains, the nice all I'm trying to say all white, but then I'm like, oh fuck, how racially motivated is this, and is it from like Christian background, and how the whole colonialism. So I'm trying not to dig myself in a while. I just want to talk about love and peace today. But I feel like not love and peace, love. But yeah, so in my opinion, I do believe love still is there. There's still love in the world, and love gets better. We channel love to the kids, and we teach them how to love, and they love, and they teach their kids and everyone else how to love. Animals are in the mix as well. So yeah, with all that being said, thank you for watching this video. If you did up to this point, I'm really grateful for that. I'll attach a link to my second channel, strictly tech stuff over there. Try to join me on my journey on stuff like that. Trying to become a better person. But on this channel, I'll just have conversations with you like this, talking about the things that I care about the most: love, philosophy, and money. So, peace.